I shared with him that I was heading out to visit my cousin for a brief retreat. It was meant to be a short break from the routine, an opportunity to bond with family and find some calm. He pressed a tender kiss to my forehead, offered a gentle smile, encouraged me to take care of myself, and even helped me pack the night before my trip. He had no idea that I was actually traveling to Miami, not for a family gathering, but for a $20,000 Brazilian butt lift, a procedure I'd been secretly saving for without ever mentioning it to him. Reflecting now, it seems reckless, perhaps even foolish. But back then, I convinced myself I was making a courageous move toward self-empowerment, something entirely for my own benefit. For years, I'd stood before mirrors, picking apart every imperfection, comparing myself to women I saw online, on the street, everywhere. I reasoned that it was my body, my money, my choice. What I didn't realize was that the real damage wasn't the surgery, it was the dishonesty. I stayed in Miami for 10 days. I told him I was extending my trip to enjoy more time with family. I sent him beach photos I'd found on Instagram, claiming they were my own. I shared pictures of a cozy Airbnb, pretending it was my cousin's home. In truth, I was struggling to walk, grimacing from the pain, dealing with swelling, wrestling with tight compression garments, and navigating a fog of medications. The experience was exhausting, yet I felt an odd sense of empowerment, as if I'd taken charge of my own happiness. When I finally returned home, I concealed my discomfort under loose clothing and moved carefully, attributing my slowness to travel exhaustion. He was so thoughtful, brewing chamomile tea, rubbing my tired feet, even cooking dinner that first evening back. He had no suspicion. For a fleeting moment, I believed I'd pulled it off. But 3 weeks later, I slipped up. I left a follow-up invoice from the clinic inside my purse, and he discovered it. I walked into our bedroom and saw him sitting on the edge of the bed, holding the envelope, his gaze locked on it. His face was unreadable. No anger, no confusion, just a deep, quiet disbelief. He didn't say anything at first. He simply held up the paper and asked, "What is this?" My stomach dropped. I couldn't conjure another lie. I just stood there frozen. The look in his eyes, I'll never forget it. It wasn't about the surgery. It was the betrayal, the ease with which I'd woven a tapestry of lies, disappearing under false pretenses and returning as if everything was the same. He stood up, calm and collected, no yelling, no swearing, no theatrics. He began packing my things with deliberate care, placing my belongings into boxes, carrying them to the front door, and setting them in the driveway like I was an item to be returned. I followed him, tears streaming down my face, pleading, trying to explain that I'd only wanted to feel better about myself, that it wasn't about him, that it had nothing to do with my feelings for him. But he was beyond listening. His silence was deafening. "You deceived me," he finally whispered, his voice barely audible. "You kept me in the dark. Do you understand how it feels to love someone who doesn't trust you enough to be honest?" Those words broke me, right there on the porch, illuminated by the streetlight's glow, surrounded by boxes containing pieces of the life we created together. I tried to explain that it came from my own insecurities, not from any flaw in our relationship. But it didn't matter. The person he'd loved, the one he thought he knew, had vanished the moment I chose secrecy over transparency. He walked back inside, locked the door, and didn't look back. I sat in my car that night for hours, crying into the steering wheel, grappling with the realization that I'd traded the warmth of our bond for a momentary sense of validation. Now people notice me. Strangers, friends, even those who once overlooked me. They compliment my appearance, saying I must feel so confident. But their words can't drown out the memory of that door locking behind him. They can't fill the emptiness he left. I look in the mirror now, and all I see is someone who chased a superficial ideal and lost something real. The truth is, I didn't need a changed body. I needed to heal how I saw myself. Instead of opening up to the one person who loved me without conditions, I pushed him away completely. Now his communication is reduced to short, practical messages. "I'll pick up the rest of your stuff on Thursday. The lease transfer is ready for your signature. The dog's vet records are in the drawer." No warmth, no anger, just a stark finality. And I can't blame him. I keep wondering, what if I'd been truthful? What if I'd told him how I cried trying on clothes, how I hated my reflection in pictures, how I just wanted to feel worthy of his love. Maybe he would have supported me. Maybe he would have come with me. Or maybe he would have reassured me that I was enough as I was. At the very least, I wouldn't have destroyed us with a lie. If you're reading this, if you're with someone who loves you, who shows up for you, who believes in you, don't shut them out. Don't lie because you're scared they won't understand. Because if they truly love you, they'll likely walk with you through your struggles. And if you're thinking about making a major change to yourself, pause and ask why. Is it for healing, or is it for hiding? I was hiding. Now, I'm left with a body others call perfect and a bed that feels unbearably empty. I traded trust for a fleeting boost of confidence. In the end, I lost the only person who ever made me feel truly secure. I don't regret the surgery itself. I regret the person I became to make it happen.